up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the channel. This is going to be my recap and review for Real Housewives of OC. This is season 16, episode 7. And not much really happened. So let's get into the episode. Kicks off where, well, I don't even think where it left off. I'm so used to saying that. Okay, so it opens up and we see Nicole, Dr. Jen, and Emily. They're at a swimsuit shop. Mind you, Emily looks amazing. Like, Emily is such an Amazon, and she's just so statuesque. Like, she has an amazing body that I wish she would stop being so insecure because she's beautiful. Like, she is gorgeous. Like, she has all the right thickness in the right places. She is thick. Like, if I had Emily's body, you couldn't tell me nothing. You could not tell Leah. You couldn't tell me nothing now. She looked amazing. And so they're talking. And then we have, what's her name? Nicole starting up about Noella. So supposedly Nicole is still saying how, like, she feels awkward being around Noella. And she doesn't know if she wants to go on the Cabo trip if Noella's coming. Mind you, the streets have been talking. And they were saying, or, you know, on them Twitter streets, you know, everybody there's a lot of rumors with no regards, but it be some of them rumors be true. They said that Nicole basically chose to get unvaccinated, and allegedly that is the reason why she was no longer to continue as a friend of the show, allegedly. And I kind of agree it might be true, because it's like they honestly, in the huge trailer, the mid-season trailer, we didn't see Nicole not one bit. So I don't know if that means she wasn't a part of going out of the country to Mexico, or if that means she will no longer be filming with them the entire season. If it's true, I'm okay with it, because Nicole's an opportunistic, like, blow up doll. And the bad thing about it is like, I have nothing against anybody who comes on reality TV looking for fame, notoriety, and status, because we've seen so many people who are able to garner that and be successful. We saw it with Nene. You got Cardi B, heck, even K. Michelle, Tamar, and them. So we've seen people gain that. So I'm not going to fault you for your hustle. My thing is, don't be thirsty about it and don't come off desperate. Like, we never really saw, like, gotten a peek into Nicole's life other than the whole suing situation. And it was annoying, but I was glad. So Nicole's having this conversation with Jen and what's her name? And Emily. And I was glad Emily had a mind of her own, because Emily was like, Nicole keeps bringing up Noella and saying how Noella keeps saying these negative things about us, but I'm not too dumb enough to believe that Nicole's not saying the same thing. And I was like, thank you, Emily, because that's my thing. Nicole is saying these things like no one's going to ask, like, well, what did you say for her to feel so comfortable with saying such things? So I was glad that Emily said that in her green screen, that she's taking everything that Nicole says with a huge grain of salt. Like, it doesn't really hold weight. So then we see Shannon packing, and then we see Heather and Gina. Gina stops by Heather's home. Gina is so thirsty, and it's annoying. The reason why it's annoying is because Gina has been on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, of OC, for I think like 3 seasons, with 3 or 4 seasons without Heather. And she wasn't even up Vicky and Tamara's behinds the way she is with Heather. Mind you, I would be starstruck by the glamour, you know? Heather's, them heated cabinets, and then Heather's closet in the house is beautiful. But it's like Gina is giving very much friend of the show antics. Like, she's not giving a housewife, and it's like, you already earned your stripes with Vicky and Tamara. Why are you being so thirsty? What, like, why? Like, it's coming off thirst bucket wise, and it's annoying. But she's in there begging Heather to let Noella come, and Heather's like, I don't really have an issue with her, but every time I try to do something nice for the lady, it comes back to bite me in the behind. So basically, it sounded like Noella gave Max, because Noella gave Max a gift, and Heather said it was pornography, but I don't think it was. It really sounded like some people were speculating online that it was crimes against humanity. And I think that's what it was, or maybe like the LGBTQ version of crimes against humanity. Because they were like, she said they were games, like playing games. And I'm like, crimes against humanity only gets as bad if you let it. Like, especially if you're playing with certain people. So I feel like Heather just is taking everything with Noella to the 10th degree, because she doesn't like the fact that, like, you already called her a fake bee, and then you're also going around telling everybody to be cautious of Heather. So Heather really doesn't like her like that. Heather's trying to act like she do, but she really don't like that lady like that. But she allows Noella to come, but Noella is coming late. That was loud. Then we see everybody get on the plane. So they're going to Cabo. The villa that they're staying at is actually really nice. Although, like, the outside looked nice, but the inside didn't look so great. Like, I was expecting more. And maybe that's because they have gassed Heather up so much that I was like, girl, this look kind of basic. Just a little bit. Just a little basic. And so I was just like, oh, okay. But it still was nice. Like, it was a villa. I think there was enough rooms for everybody. It was weird to me that Emily and Gina wanted to room together. And the guy told them, the host who was like showing everybody, like, I guess he is the manager of the house. He was showing everybody around, and he told Gina and Emily, like, oh, we got 5 extra rooms, like, wherever you want to stay. And she was like, oh, we'll stay together. They stayed in a room with 2 beds. And I was like, why? And then Gina over in her green screen talking about, like, we're vacation wives. And I was like, y'all could have just had a room next to each other. Why do y'all feel the need to, like, I just didn't understand. I didn't understand. So everybody seems to be having a good time. They found their rooms. Let's get on Dr. Jen. Don't bring Dr. Jen back. She's boring. She's boring. Like, she is boring. She's not giving much, and I really don't care about her whole situation with Ryan or Ray, or whatever, however say the man's name. I don't care. It seems to me like she sucks at her work-life balance. She keeps saying that, but it doesn't seem like she's taking the initiative to make it any better. But she's constantly saying that, you know, I want it to be better. So if you constantly are saying you want it to be better, then you need to take the initiative to make it better. But it doesn't even seem like her husband is really interested in her like that. Like, they were FaceTiming. And their conversation was really blah. We found out the kids were like planting like pineapple trees and lemon trees or whatever. And it's dry. Like, they're dry. She's dry. And then we end up finding out about her having like I don't know if it was a cancerous tumor or just a tumor on her femur, which is a part of your leg. And they took it out, but they filled the leg up with cement, which was confusing to me, because you have your bone, and then inside of your bone is your bone marrow, and that's where your red blood cells come from. So when she said that, like, they filled up the bone with cement, I was like, so do you have half your red blood cells? Because I'm just like, why? And then I'm like, why would they put cement in your leg? And I could be wrong, but she said cement, so it was weird to me, because I was just like, why would they put cement in your leg? And you need your bones. Your bones produce bone marrow, and like, you have bone marrow, and then the bone marrow that comes from coming out of your bone marrow is the red blood cells. So it was confusing. I was confused. I'm sorry. I was just like, why would they put cement in there? Like, I was just confused. But yeah, it was just confusing. We see Heather down at the table. They're thinking about building a house in Mexico. And she got emotional because basically she said, me and Terry had our children late in life. And she was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I want to make sure that my kids are together when we're gone. And she said she had this dream about how like she couldn't see all her kids, but she saw her oldest kids, and she was like, one of them were saying like, oh, mom would love it here. And she said she doesn't know why they made her emotional, but she just wants to make sure her kids they're still together when she's gone, which I think is commendable, because I don't think everybody plans ahead that way. We see a lot of families fall apart when like the matriarch or the patriarch leaves. Like when Big Mama or your grandmama died, or when your granddaddy died, and they were the main people that forced the family to come together, or like you have like a great aunt, everything falls apart. So I do think it's important that like she took the initiative to be like, no, I'm gonna make this for my kids. And I thought that was sweet. We see Shannon, Emily, and Gina go horseback riding. They have fun. They were, after they got done horseback riding, they were sitting on the beach and they were just talking about how worried they are about the reception Noella was going to get. I was annoyed with Gina constantly saying it was hot and like she was fuming. And I was like, bitch, you're in Mexico. It's 95 degrees. Like, I think Mexico is near the equator. Anytime like a country or a continent is near the equator, it's very tropical, hot weather. And I was just like, it's Mexico. When have we ever heard of Mexico being cold? So her constantly saying that, and then I'm like, you're from Orange County, California. It's not like a cold, chilly place. Like, I think one of my friends who lives there, she always tells me, she was like, it doesn't get cold, it just gets rainy, and it might give you some fall weather. But she acting like she get all 4 seasons of California, and I was just like, shut up, Gina. So Noella get there. Like I said, y'all, it wasn't really much. Emily, Gina, and Shannon were talking about they didn't know what kind of reception Noella would get. But Gina really wanted Noella to be there because Gina knows what it means to go through a divorce. And it's weird because they're acting like Shannon never went through a dirty divorce. So I'm kind of like, what is this? But Noella lied because she lied. That's the only thing I don't like about Noella. As much as Noella was saying that Dr. Jen was thirsty, Noella is the same amount of Noella is probably thirstier than Dr. Jen. It's just that it's more palatable when Noella is thirsty compared to Jen, because so everyone was getting ready. They're going to dinner. And Noella's on her way, but she gets there like probably in like both like after they leave, and she felt some type of way because nobody was there to greet her. And I was kind of like, well, sis, you came late to the trip. I'm not stopping my food plans for you. So I mean, I get it. It was rude because they could have waited for her and welcomed her. But if you hungry, I'm going to the restaurant. Should have came on time. But she gets there, she's like in her feelings a little bit. But when they were on the bus, Shannon said Noella told her that they wouldn't take her passport. And then Heather responds like, you mean she forgot her passport? And then when Noella sits down for dinner with the ladies, Noella's talking about like, I know these are like rich girl problems, but she said she didn't have her passport. She had a passport card, not her actual passport book. And then I was confused because I don't think I've ever heard of a passport card. And that could be just me, because I have a passport, not a passport card. And I've never, in all of my years, I've never heard of no one going outside of the country, outside of their own country, and not knowing they needed a passport. Like babies have, like babies, like you still have to carry, who cannot speak, have passports. So why would you think you would need a passport? And then I also think she's lying is because in that, when I told y'all about that one of the videos I was talking about where we read the court documents with Noella, she went out the country to like Singapore and Dubai and stuff. And I'm just kind of like, you needed that then. And my thing is like, it's not like Mexico is a U.S. territory. Like I don't think you need your passport to go to Puerto Rico because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. I don't even think you needed to go to Samoa because Samoa is a part of, like, half of Samoa is the U.S. side. You know what I mean? Half of Samoa is the U.S. side. And the other half is like the people who like they're like low key the whole land should be there, but half of it is, colonized by America. But like you don't need a passport to Hawaii because Hawaii is a part of the 50 states. So I'm just like I was like, you're lying. I'm not confused. I know you're lying, ma'am. You're lying. And then that private jet looked like it was rented. We know y'all can rent private jets. We know y'all don't have private jets. So then they sit down to eat dinner. And my thing is like, Noella is being very obnoxious and very childlike when it comes to Heather, because I guess she feels like she doesn't want to kiss Heather's ass, and she doesn't have to. Like, I'm not saying kiss Heather's ass, but what I'm saying is like, Heather was trying to talk to them about how to drink shots that Terry told her how to do, that they learned from like somebody at a restaurant, where you dip your orange in cinnamon and then you take a shot of tequila and then you lick the, you suck on the cinnamon on your orange. And they said that I think that's supposed to be better than like, the salt with the orange, not the orange with the lime. Is it a lime? Yeah, salt with a lime. I don't normally do that. We just be taking shots back here, And she got upset and like threw her drink out and was like, "Can you just put some ice in here?" And then she was complaining about drinking warm tequila, and I kind of had to side with Heather when Heather was like, "Girl, just take the shot." Like, I was just like, "Yeah, girl, like just take the shot." But my thing is, like, I understood what Noella meant, because things do go down smoother, because I put all my alcohol in the freezer because I wanted to be ice cold when I drink it, because it hits the body differently than when it's room temperature. But I'm like, sis, you're in Mexico. Just take the shot. Y'all are at the restaurant, and then just order, like, if you really want tequila that bad, tell them put some ice, put your tequila in some ice and call it a day. And so she was just being obnoxious, and she was being annoying. And I think that's where people are going to start to get turned off by Noella, because of course a lot of people are like, they don't want Heather there because they feel like a lot of the women are kissing Heather's butt. But it's like the way in which Noella is going about it, it makes Noella the villain, because we're all at the table. You could have just partook in the shots. Even if you didn't want to do it, you didn't have to take the shot, but there was no need for you to make a scene. And then they started talking about eating dinner. And I was confused by this too, where Heather kind of just got weird. Not Heather, Noella got weird, where they were like, I think Noella like ordered dinner, but then she wasn't eating, and then she made it a big deal for her to eat, and everyone was looking at her like she was stupid. And I even was like, Noella, calm down. So then Gina and Emily get up to go to the bathroom, and Noella comes, and then Emily and Gina were trying to tell Noella that she might have offended Heather, and then Noella was like, who cares? And I was like, you should kind of care, because you were asked to be on the trip, and you're kind of being, you're being obnoxious and an asshole. Like, chill out, girl. But yeah, y'all, that really is what happened on this episode. I guess next episode is going to be much better. But yeah, that's all I could give. But that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and drop down in the comments below and tell me what y'all think. Are you cool with, are you siding with Noella versus Heather? Are you on Heather's side? Or do you care at all? But yeah, y'all, I'm out.